Picture this. You've worked hard for 40 years, finally reaching retirement, and then realizing you're going to run out of money in 10 years. Scary, right? But this happens to millions of people every single year. Not because they didn't try, but because they made a few critical mistakes along the way. Today, I'm breaking down the 4 biggest retirement mistakes that quietly destroy retirement dreams. The good news? Once you know them, you can avoid them. If you're new here, hi, I'm Brody. I'm 65 and I've spent 35 years managing my own retirement, learning a lot the hard way. This isn't financial advice. Always do your own research. If you find this helpful, consider subscribing. Let's get into it. The number 1 retirement mistake, and probably the most common, is starting too late. Most people in their 20s and 30s think, I've got time, I'll start saving when I make more money. Then suddenly, they're 45, looking at their tiny retirement account and panicking. Here's why starting late hurts so much. Remember compound growth, the idea that your money earns money, and that money earns more money? It's the most powerful force in personal finance, but it only works if you give it time. Let me show you a real example. Person A starts saving $300 a month at age 25. They stop completely at age 35, only 10 years of saving, and let it grow. Person B waits until age 35, then saves $300 a month all the way to age 65. That's 30 years of saving. Who ends up with more money at retirement? Believe it or not, person A wins, even though they only saved for 10 years. Why? Because their money had 40 years to compound. Person B saved 3 times more, but started 10 years too late. That's the brutal cost of waiting. So why do people start late? 3 big reasons. Reason 1, lifestyle inflation. Every time you get a raise, your spending grows with it. Bigger apartment, nicer car, fancier dinners. Suddenly, there's never enough left to save. Reason 2, thinking retirement is far away. When you're 25, retirement feels like science fiction, but those decades disappear faster than you think. Reason 3, waiting for the right time. Spoiler, there is no perfect time. Markets crash, life happens, salaries fluctuate. The right time to start is always today. Here's the fix. Start now, no matter how small. Even $50 a month is better than $0. Set up automatic transfers from your paycheck into a retirement account. That way, you save before you can spend. And every time you get a raise, send half of it straight to savings. If you're already in your 40s or 50s and haven't started, don't panic. You're not doomed. But you do need to be aggressive. Save more, spend less, and consider working a few extra years. It's not too late, but every year you wait makes it harder. Mistake number 2, underestimating how much money you'll actually need in retirement. Most people pick a random number. Oh, I'll need $1 million, without ever doing the math. Then they get to retirement and realize their lifestyle costs way more than they planned. So, how much do you really need? Let's break it down. A common rule says you need about 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income every year in retirement. So, if you make $60,000 a year now, you'll need around $42,000 to $48,000 per year after retiring. Multiply that by the years you'll be retired. If you retire at 65 and live to 90, that's 25 years of expenses. At $45,000 per year, that's over $1 million, and that's before inflation. Speaking of inflation, this is where most people get destroyed. Inflation quietly eats your money every single year. What costs $100 today will cost around $180 in 20 years at just 3% inflation. So, the income you need in retirement will keep growing, even though you've stopped working. There are 3 big expenses people almost always underestimate. Number 1, healthcare. As we covered before, the average couple needs around $300,000 just for medical costs in retirement. Number 2, helping family. Many retirees end up financially supporting adult children or aging parents. It feels good in the moment, but can drain savings fast. Number 3, lifestyle and travel. Most people actually spend more in their first 10 years of retirement than when they were working. Travel, hobbies, dining out, freedom isn't free. Here's the fix. First, track your current spending for 3 months. You can't plan for retirement if you don't know what your life actually costs. Second, use the 25 times rule. Take your yearly expenses and multiply by 25. That's roughly the amount you need invested to safely retire. Third, plan for inflation. Assume your costs will double every 25 years or so. And finally, build a buffer. Aim for more than the bare minimum. Future you will thank present you. Mistake number 3, getting your investment risk completely wrong. And this goes both ways, too much risk or too little. Let's start with too much risk. You hear stories about people who put their entire retirement into one hot stock or crypto, or some can't-miss investment a friend told them about. Then the market crashes and 10 years of savings disappear in 6 months. This isn't rare, it happens all the time. Other risky moves people make: trying to time the market, buying when things look good, selling when they look bad. Studies show even professional investors fail at this most of the time. Chasing trends. When everyone's talking about a hot investment, it's usually too late. By the time it's on the news, the smart money has already moved on. Putting everything in your own company's stock. If your employer fails, you lose your job and your savings at the same time. Painful lesson. But the opposite mistake is just as dangerous: taking too little risk. Some people get so scared of losing money, they keep everything in cash or savings accounts. Sounds safe, right? But here's the trap. Cash loses value to inflation every year. If your savings earn 1% but inflation is 3%, you're actually losing 2% of your purchasing power every year. Over 30 years, that adds up to losing more than half your wealth, without ever seeing the loss on paper. So what's the right balance? It depends on your age and goals. A simple guideline: subtract your age from 110. That's roughly the percentage you should have in stocks. So if you're 30, around 80% in stocks, 20% in bonds. If you're 60, around 50% in stocks, 50% in bonds. When you're young, you have time to ride out market crashes, so you can take more risk for higher growth. As you age, you shift towards safer investments to protect what you've built. Other smart rules: diversify. Don't put everything in one stock, one company, or one country. Spread your money across different investments. Use index funds. They give you instant diversification at low cost. Boring, but they beat most fancy strategies long term. Rebalance once a year. Markets shift your portfolio over time. Reset it back to your target mix every year to stay on track. The goal isn't to get rich quick. It's to grow steadily without blowing it all up. Mistake number 4, and this one surprises people: having no plan for life after you retire. Most people spend years planning the financial side of retirement, but almost no one plans the emotional and lifestyle side. And that's where things fall apart. Studies show that around 1 in 3 retirees experience depression within the first few years. Why? Reason 1: loss of identity. For 30 or 40 years, your job was a huge part of who you were. When that suddenly disappears, many people feel lost. If I'm not a teacher, an engineer, a manager, who am I? Reason 2: loss of social connection. Most of our daily social interactions happen at work. Retire, and that social network shrinks overnight. Loneliness becomes a real health risk. Reason 3: lack of structure. Work gives your day a shape. Without that structure, days blend together, motivation drops, and many people just drift. Reason 4: no purpose. Vacation is fun for 2 weeks, but 30 years of vacation? That's not a dream. That's a problem. Humans need purpose to thrive. Beyond the emotional side, there's also the financial behavior trap. Some retirees get scared and spend too little, never enjoying the money they worked so hard for. Others get excited and spend too much in the first few years, leaving nothing for later. Here's how to avoid this mistake. Step 1. Plan your purpose, not just your money. Before retiring, ask yourself, what will I do every Monday morning? What will give my week meaning? Step 2. Build hobbies and passions before you retire. Don't wait until day one. Start now. Whether it's gardening, writing, volunteering, learning a language, give yourself things to wake up for. Step 3. Stay socially connected. Join clubs, take classes, volunteer, or work part-time. Human connection is just as important as savings. Step 4. Phase into retirement if you can. Going from full-time work to zero work overnight is jarring. Try part-time work, consulting, or a passion project for a few years first. The transition is much smoother. Step 5. Set a spending plan. Most experts recommend the 4% rule. Withdraw about 4% of your retirement savings per year. This usually lets your money last 30+ years. Stick to a plan and you won't overspend or underspend. Retirement isn't an ending, it's a new chapter. The people who thrive in it are the ones who design that chapter on purpose. So let's quickly recap the 4 biggest retirement mistakes. Number 1, starting too late. Time is your most valuable asset and you can't get it back. Start today, no matter how small. Number 2, underestimating how much you'll need. Do the math, plan for inflation, and build a buffer. Number 3, getting risk wrong. Too much risk can wipe you out. Too little risk lets inflation eat you alive. Balance is everything. Number 4, no plan for life after retirement. Money gets you to retirement, but purpose, people, and passion are what make it worth it. Avoid these 4 mistakes, and you'll be miles ahead of most people heading into retirement. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button, subscribe to Bright Mind Idea, and let me know in the comments which mistake hits closest to home for you. I read every one. And if you missed our previous videos on retirement basics, Social Security, and healthcare costs, check them out next. Links right up here. If this helped you see things differently, share it with a friend or someone you love. They'll thank you later. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.